hit that hole right through the jungle. She call them papi. I don't really want no friends now. She call them papi. Papi fucking me and Nicky. She call them papi.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Quisha, but I go by Unappreciated Beauty here on YouTube. And if you have not already subscribed to my channel, please do so before you click out of this video, and make sure your notification bell is on. That way you never miss another upload from me. Also, I'll leave all of my social media platforms in this video or somewhere down below. That way you guys can follow me and I will follow you back. So in this video, I'm going to be doing a get ready with me story time. I wanted to give y'all the tea. So this is a story time on how the side chick wanted to meet up with little old me for what? Over a dude? Like what? Yeah. You guys let me know how y'all feel about the story time. If you would like to see more, just keep on watching and let's get right into the video. Isn't this so cute? It's a Scorpio. Well, it says a Scorpio because I'm a Scorpio. And on the back it says loyal, resourceful, determined. And then it tells you the dates and stuff. It's so cute. My sister got me this. And this coffee is good. So I'm back at it again with another get ready with me story time. I don't know, but it's feeling like when I'm doing my makeup and talking, like as far as telling a story, my makeup comes out 10 times better. We're gonna keep this up as long as I can. Hopefully I don't drain myself out. And then I still got, like, I thought I got all my makeup off from the last video or the last filming session, but it's still a little crusty around my eyes, which is okay. But I've already primed my eyelids, I primed my face, and then I did my eyebrows already, just so I could skip that step, because I noticed normally it really doesn't take me that long, but when I'm talking, you know, it takes up a little bit of time. This story time, I'm gonna go back to like when I think, well, this was a few years back, but yeah, this story time is going to be on how the side chick wanted to meet up with me, and only one person knows about this because she kind of got involved but wasn't really involved. She just, you know, was giving me some information. I'm gonna go right into starting on my eyeshadow application. So I'm gonna carve out my brows really quick, and I'm gonna try and sound as awake as possible, but my voice just don't be letting me live. To start out, I met this guy, and he was definitely maybe a year or two younger than me, but he was of age, wasn't in college or anything. I guess he didn't want to go. So I met him, and we actually met on social media. Back then when guys would like reach out to me via social media, I kind of was like standoffish because I didn't really, you know, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. You don't know who you could be talking to, and for all you know, it could be a fake page. But me, I knew that nobody like knew me like that anyway, because I didn't talk to anybody. So, and then the school that I went to, it was only a certain amount of black people. The high school that I went to, it was only a certain amount of black people, so I highly doubt anybody was, you know, reaching out to me that way like that, because at least the conversation would have been different if it was somebody that I knew or that I went to school with. I was, you know, very like standoffish or whatever, and I really wasn't with the shits. Once he kept, you know, talking, he was really sweet, and to me that's like a big thing, because, you know, it shows me that you know how to be respectful at least. So he was really sweet. Of course it goes down in the DMs per usual, and we talked via DM for a little bit. You know how people be like, how you meet them is how you keep them or whatever, or what do you call it? If you meet someone on social media, most likely like he'll be meeting other women or whatever on social media too. I kind of figured, you know, obviously I'm not the only one that he's ever talked to. He's a grown-ass man. I was like, I'll give him that little conversation, you know. He seems pretty nice. But he was very, you could tell he was very confident. I figured, you know, yeah, he does this all the time. But he was still like super sweet or whatever. After I started like getting to know him, he was very like rude at times. Like you could tell he was trying to hold on to that like, oh, I'm a sweetheart, because sometimes his conversations would like switch up. I just ignore him for the day, and then I'll go back and talk to him like once I realized like he calmed down or whatever. And he was like a very heavy smoker. I think he said he didn't like to drink or anything like that. So, you know, and I had already been around people who smoke weed or smoke cigarettes or whatever. So cigarette smoke bothers me. I could stand it for a little bit, but if it's excessive, I'm just like, bruh. Yeah, he smokes or whatever. He was really open and honest about a lot of things. But me, I was the type of person, like, obviously I'm not gonna go back and forth about who you're talking to. I guess like his past, like I really don't care. Like, okay, let me say it like this: when it comes to people like talking about their past, I give them like that opportunity to, but I don't like stress it, because I know a lot of people don't like to talk about their past, which could be helpful when you're in a relationship to know a little bit. But that's like, for me, it's like, because I don't do it, I don't expect anyone else to do it. I've been using these beauty bakery products for a minute, like the little stuff that I do have, and I think her name is Cashmere. She got some good stuff. Okay, yeah, I think I cleared out my DMs not too long ago. Okay, so I actually found the DMs, but like, what the hell. So this was actually 7 years ago. He reached out to me. I asked him how old he was. I told him my age. Like, all of his messages are gone. I think because he's been inactive on, well, he's been inactive on his account. It just like removed everything. So the only messages that are left are mine. So I told him, I'm just being honest. Younger guys are childish, and I can't be nothing but friends. Wow, that was pretty harsh. I said, I don't know what he said after that. I said, I'm a really nice person, and I do start out as friends just to know like how someone is, but I was just saying how I felt because I talked to someone else prior who was saying the same thing. I guess he was like trying to run game, and I wasn't with the shits. I be trying to tell y'all, I don't be with the shits. So yeah, we talked for a little bit, and then I said, he kept asking me for my number. I know that for sure. Like, he asked me like literally all day. So I said, okay, you know, here's my number, you can text me. So after we talked for a little bit, I can't even remember how long it was, but he did get to the point where he was like we were really like together. So I was like, okay, this might just work. We might be on to something. I did give him a little chance or whatever. I was comfortable enough to meet him, and I think we met like maybe a month later, because I feel like I was really giving him a hard time, because I was just like how do I feel about this? Back then I was really mature for my age, I feel like, because I would be nice and talk to people or whatever, but I didn't expect people to be like my dream guy, because I just knew, you know, something inside me was just saying like, you're young and there's nobody that's ready for a relationship like that at this age. When I was involved in relationships, I was very serious. I took everything very seriously. I didn't talk to multiple guys, I only talked to that one guy. So however long we ended up talking, that would be the only person I would be talking to. Yeah, he was a pretty cool person, I will give him that as well. Weeks go by, and I really start to notice that because I really didn't pay attention too much to like who he would talk to on social media, because you could see literally everything. So I didn't really care about that, because I honestly didn't know who was who anyway. So like, if I did, you know, screenshot and be like, who is this, it'd be pointless, because I mean, is he really gonna tell me who those people are? I didn't trip, but I still saw it because I saw it on my timeline. So I was like, okay. So I would just do my own thing, and it was like every single time somebody like replied to me, he would see it, go on his page and be like, you know, something in regards to somebody talking to somebody else or being trifling, or sometimes he would quote like song lyrics, and I guess it would, you know, pertain to the situation or whatever, because he would always tell me, oh, you talk to all these dudes, blah blah blah. I'm like, first of all, replying to people has nothing to do with actually talking to people and being in a relationship with people. And why would I do that so blatantly on social media, knowing that me and you talk and that my profile is public? Like, why would I do that? So he would be like, okay, whatever. And like, I never asked him about his stuff. Like, I never asked him about his shit. I never asked him who is this, who is that, who is this girl. Never asked him none of that, because it was pointless. And plus, I talked to him every day, all day. And I would see him at least, you know, before I go to class, or sometimes like I would see him during the day and then talk to him at night, and literally all night. So I wasn't worried about that, but he was definitely looking at my page and he was like, what are you doing? I think we got to the conversation about going through each other's phone, and he didn't want me to go through his phone, so I didn't let him go through mine. I didn't have nothing to hide, but I was like, I'm not gonna give you that either, you know what I'm saying? If we ain't switching phones at the same time, then ain't no point in this process. So plus, I didn't like going through people's phone. I just don't. I don't even know what I'm looking for, and if I find something, and then what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm not gonna sit there. I was the type of person, I'm not gonna sit there and cry and in front of anybody, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to like stuff like that. I was just like, you do what you do and I'm gonna do what I do, okay? So yeah, I noticed that he was very like talkative to different people on social media, but I was like, whatever, you know, do what you gonna do and I'm gonna do what I do. So after a while, he was really giving me like this weird vibe, and he started becoming like very like standoffish. Me being me, I just took it like, okay, whatever. And I think around this time, we had been talking for a minute. Like, it had been a while. So, but it was like, now it was becoming like it's always something with him. So there was this post that I made, and I wasn't even talking to him or about him, but we had got to a point where whenever he would like get mad at me or something, we would both, like, whenever we would get mad at each other, we would both go to social media. So it wasn't just him, it was me too. We would do all of that, and then this one post is what started it all. I posted something and it was regards to like what we do when we're together. That day, whoever this girl is, she was pissed. So what he did was, when we would message back and forth, like, you could see replies and stuff like that. I guess he didn't care. I guess he wanted people to see his stuff, and I can only guess that maybe she was on my profile before, so she knew how to look me up. So he quoted something that I said. She said something, and the reason why I know is because after he did that, then he said something like hoes. So I guess she got mad and he said something rude to her. When he responded, he said something rude after, and then he actually replied to her because she was like, really? And she said his name. And he replied to her and he was like, what's up, or something like that. When I went to her page, because you can easily click on people's page, I went to her page, like, his name was all over her page. Like, she was talking so much shit, and then like they had like a really weird type of relationship, I guess, because you could tell like she was responding to all of his like posts, and she would say, like, she would throw like hella shade, and then she would talk to his friends and stuff like that. So he was like, so now it made sense, like, whenever I would see him mad and upset on his social media, it was more than likely because he was responding and replying to her, or like quoting her or throwing shade at her. But back then we didn't say shade. So yeah, after all of that, I knew who she was. I knew what her page was. I knew who he could potentially be talking to other than me. And that's when I had to sit down and I was like, okay, who's really the side chick? Is it me or is it her? Because it seemed like he had more history with her, but he was still like talking to me. So, and then it kind of felt like most of the conversations I had with him, he was having the same conversations with her. Okay, sorry. I had to focus. So clearly he was talking to both of us because she was in her feelings, but at the same time she was telling their mutual friends all of her business, like pretty much. We probably was literally on each other's page trying to figure out what the fuck he was really doing. But me, I still didn't care. Like, I was just like, there's no way. Like, there's no way. So I don't know. I can't remember if I mentioned to him, but I think he kind of figured that I knew something. I feel like I mentioned it to him, and I don't have those text messages anymore because I don't have that phone. He was like, you tripping, blah blah blah, and I was like, are you meeting up with this girl? Like, what is going on? Like, are you meeting up with her after you meet up with me? Because that's what it seemed like. Because I swear when I would call him, he would be on his way. Like, he's not giving me that vibe, like, you know, me and him aren't together. So what's really the deal? What brought me to like my stopping point where I was just like, I'm not gonna continue with this, was basically the girl knew she had to find more than one page of mine because she found out that me and her have a mutual friend. Of course she didn't reach out to me. She reached out to my friend and was trying to meet up with me. But my friend called me and she was like, hey, don't you talk to so-and-so? And I'm like, yeah. And she was like, well, this girl, she wanted me to give her your number. I think either she wanted my number or she wanted my friend to give me her number. And she was like, the girl wants to call you. And I was like, okay, but for what? And she was like, I don't know. So I'm like, okay. I was like, but who is she? Like, are they talking? Are they together? Like, I'm confused. So she was like, I don't know. She reached out to me. She wanted you to call her. And I was like, wow. The nerve. I didn't end up meeting up with her. I told my friend, I said, nope, I don't want to talk to her. As far as I know, she can have him. I was like, I don't want him. It was like, I don't got nothing to do with that. And I said, I know. I said, you can tell her if you want to. If not, I don't care. And I met up with him one more time just to see how he would act. Well, I met up with him one more time, but I didn't actually speak to him about anything. We met up, we hung out. He still acted like nothing was an issue, but he was still acting like weird or whatever. I was like, all right. That was the last time I talked to him. Yeah, she wanted to meet up, and I was like, well, why would she want to meet up with me? Like, I'm not the side chick. And the reason why I automatically thought that was because it was like he was like avoiding her. Yeah, she kept trying to like reach out to him or whatever, like throw shade to him to make him know that she had a problem. I was like, nah, you can have him, because if he did it once, he'll do it again. And I think he was thinking it was easier because I didn't know her and she didn't know me. If I would have called her, I wouldn't have been on that level. Like, I'm always ready to fight, but I wouldn't have been on that level with her because I already knew what it was, because I had already seen her profile before. Yeah, something going on, because why would she want to meet up with me? Like, why don't she ask him? You know what I'm saying? Because you can't really come up to somebody and be like, oh, so you talked to so-and-so, like, you don't know he got a girl, but literally I talked to him too. You don't know he got a girl, so it's kind of pointless to go back and forth with somebody about a guy, because you don't know the history, you don't know the conversation, you don't know what he telling her. I went and looked back at her profile like a few months later, and they were together, and she was posting all of their text messages together and screenshots of how long they be on the phone. So I was like, hey, I made it easier for him to avoid a situation, because more than likely she was trying to like meet up so we could like probably like dog him out, and I ain't on that level. I wasn't on that level either. I wasn't doing that because I don't do stuff like that. It's so freaking pointless. That's how the side chick wanted to meet up with me, but I wasn't meeting up with nobody about no dude. Yeah, I do not entertain shit like that. If me and him had history, so I can understand her wanting to reach out, because ain't no telling how long they were talking. Even if you was talking to him before, me and him was talking for a minute. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, so how could you let that pass for so long? I wasn't surprised, but I was like annoyed with him because I had bought both of us matching Jordans, and that was the only time I had bought him something. How I am, I don't tolerate lying, cheating. First time if you even give me that impression that you could be talking to somebody else, I'm just like, that's it. I feel like it's not like even when you're super young, you know what cheating is. The word is gonna pop up a few times in their life. So like, people know when they cheat, and they just be thinking that they're not gonna get caught. Like, some people are rude to the person that they're talking to. They'll, like, if somebody would, like, if that person found out that they were cheating or whatever, they would have so much to say. It's like, wow, you couldn't just break it off the normal way. You just have to cheat. Like, yeah, you guys seen me do the foundation and powder part in my last few videos. It was definitely a weird situation to be in, and that was my actual first time like having to deal with something like that. And you already know me, the first time is the last time. So if he did try to reach back out later on, there was no way in hell that I was gonna talk to him again. And I'm like, y'all petty, getting childish, because all y'all do is throw shade at each other. Some guys, they are just out of control. Like, I swear y'all hate arguing. Y'all blame everything on women, but y'all the one doing shit. And I already said, I will not put myself in no type of situation. And I feel sorry for that girl, like, low-key, because some people fall in love super quick, and the sucky part is that you have to experience that so young. I done seen a lot of shit. So there was no way in hell that I was gonna cry over no MFer, okay? And a lot of times women be like, well, what did I do? Like, why don't he like me? Like, maybe it's me, or it's not you. Some people like to be in a relationship and be all into it. People that has never been in situations, they just want to do right and, you know, be that person for people. If I would have left him in my DMs, then I would never experience that. It's bound to happen that you will put your guard up when it comes to relationships. Like, I wouldn't even blame you. People are trifling, like, they really are. And you don't want to think that, but then they end up proving you wrong without a shadow of a doubt. But like, whenever I would see other people going through stuff, I'm like, nope, not me. Like, it's not like I went into every relationship like, oh, I know this not gonna work. That's definitely not what I'm saying. And I already knew what to expect out of people. So if they show me different, then I'd be like, okay, cool. So you're not this person. And it's okay to think that, you know, just don't treat people bad, because that's like what they're gonna remember you for. Some people do luck out and they end up being in relationships that are like A1 from the beginning, and it really just depends on the person. Like some people like, I don't understand how high school sweethearts can break up, but you just have to keep connecting with that person and staying involved. Like if you really want to be with that person, like you'll be with them, you know? Yeah, I just don't like how some guys, they get into these relationships like knowing that they don't want anything out of it, but because obviously on their end they know how women are anyway, like when it comes to falling in love and stuff. I feel like, dang, you can't be that bad of a person to where you know this girl want a relationship with you and then you're just like leading her on as long as you can until you show your true self. But I can definitely say like dating nowadays, like people are definitely in wanted relationships where both parties want to be in a relationship. Okay, I'm gonna restart on this eyelash.
Back. I don't really want no friend. Back. Kick that hole right through the door. Like the she call them papi. I don't really want no friend.